Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So for this week, we are entering week 4 of our 2020 summer reading program, Oceans of Possibilities. So our theme for this week is all about the possibilities of fantastical beings. That's right, we are exploring fantasy and mythology inspired stories, complete with some creatures, monsters, beings that are only can exist in fantasy worlds present in our stories this week. So we have 6 amazing titles that we're going to take a look at that all deal with fantastical beings. So let's get started. Our first one is Realm Breaker. So our story takes place in the fantasy land called Alward. And it's there that there are these things that are called spindles. And these are doors that connect Alward to other lands, and these spindles have to remain closed in order for protection. Especially as some of the other places, creatures from other lands are not as friendly as others. So when these spindles though start to randomly become open, someone needs to close them. But not just any person can do this. No, this person has to be from this ancient bloodline of Kor, and that's where Coraine comes in. She is the one who could put an end to all of this, but she is so hesitant to embrace her heritage, and it will not be this super easy quest. Joined by a squire, an immortal, an assassin, an ancient sorceress, a forger, and a bounty hunter, this group sets off with the task of stopping a powerful and evil enemy with an army unlike anything that you've never seen or read before. If you love fantasies that are set in other lands, have non-stop action, include a large class of characters, has an epic battle of good versus evil, this is the book you need to read next. Book 2 just came out. This is Realm Breaker. Sawkill Girls. Growing up on Sawkill Rock just means living with the fact that girls go missing all of the time. In fact, in the past 150 years, there have been 23 girls who have been kidnapped. And legend has it that they are kidnapped by this monster known as the Collector. And he is the one who is to blame for all of this. Now, as the disappearances start to speed up, though, they happen with way more frequency than they've ever had before, Mary and Val and Zoe band together to find out what is actually going on. And as they start to dig deeper and unearth like these long buried secrets about families and individuals on the island, when the truth comes out, there is this battle between good and evil in which everyone has decisions to make that will have long-term consequences. This horror thriller may hit a little too close to home, which makes it that much more suspenseful, but yeah. I mean, is this monster really the one doing it, or is this just some epic urban legend that's been made to cover other things up? This is Sawkill Girls. Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. Oh, if you love Neil Gaiman, we've talked about Graveyard Book on here before. So good. So in typical Neil Gaiman style, you'll be taken on a journey and adventure through Norse mythology. Now, while it may be one that you know not as much about compared to what we know about Greek mythology, you will start by learning the 3 main figures. And you might know them from some Marvel stuff. That would be Odin, Loki, and Thor. And their stories and myths will be weaved throughout the retellings of their lives and relationships as each myth kind of rolls into one through the other in a beginning, middle, and end of their lives. If you love reading about mythology, this is a must read for you to check out and explore, especially since you will learn so much more about this amazing mythology. Highly recommended, Norse mythology. Children of Blood and Bone. So when Zelly was 6, her village was raided, her mother was killed, and she was left all alone because King Sauron dislikes magic and considers it the source of everything evil. Fast forward 11 years, she's now 17, Zelly remembers when there was magic. And she wants to do everything she can in order to bring it back to her land. Now, when she finds out that there's information that can lead to this goal being achieved, Zelly becomes the #1 target of who? King Saran, who doesn't like magic, and she and some family members and some of their friends soon find themselves fleeing across the country, trying to restore magic, all while trying to avoid being killed by Prince Anon, King Saran's son, and who is determined to set out and complete what his father started, as well as what he ordered. This fantasy is filled with magic, adventure, action, twists, and turns, and you will not be able to put it down. Now, this is the first in a series. Book 2 is already out. Book 3 will be coming out shortly. This is Children of Blood and Bone. These Violent Delights. So it is Shanghai in the 1920s as we enter this unique retelling of Romeo and Juliet. Now, it is during this time that there are factions fighting for control of the city. The two main being the Chinese-led Scarlet Gang, and then there's the Russian-led White Flowers. Now, back from New York City, Juliet is ready to take her place as heir to the head of the Scarlet Gang, and she wants revenge for those who were killed by the White Flowers in this raid that happened a couple of years ago. Now, this raid was led by this guy named Roma, who is basically like her counterpart of the White Flowers. Now, but before they know it though, she has time to put this plan into action, there is someone or something that is targeting both groups, and soon their numbers start to shrink as the death and body counts higher and higher. If they are going to survive, if their groups are going to make this out, whatever's going on, alive, the gangs are going to need to work together, and Juliet and Roma will need to lead by example. Even though there is a romance in the story, I will tell you this, it takes a backseat to the non-stop slow burn of this fantasy mystery. It's almost there because it kind of has to be because of the Romeo and Juliet aspect. The second book is already out. We have it here. You want to check it out at the same time because I will tell you this one ends with a slap to the face. You're going to want to read what happens next. These Violent Delights. And our last one for this week is Little Thieves. When she was a child, Vanja was given to the low gods of death and fortune because her mother had owed a debt. Now at 17, she's living there with these people. She's now a thief who used to be a maid to the Princess Giselle. But through her magic, she is taking on Giselle's persona as well as her face. So everyone thinks she's Princess Giselle, and no one has any idea where the actual Princess Giselle is. So all Vanja wants to do, though, is she wants to use this ability to steal enough jewels in order to buy her freedom and to make sure she doesn't have to serve anyone ever again. It is when she accidentally crosses the wrong god during one of these thief missions that she is cursed. But she's also given a proposition that can help her break this curse. She has 2 weeks to give everything back that she has stolen, or else she will turn into a jewel herself and cease to exist as Vanja. This isn't going to be easy though, because keep in mind, she has stolen physical jewels and stuff from people, but she's also stealing the Princess Giselle's identity. And again, she has no idea where she is either. So it's going to be way harder than let's initially first thought. She's going to have to figure all this out while also not getting caught, because if she's caught, she will also be put to death by the people who she has stolen from. This fantasy adventure is one that will leave you wondering whether you should be cheering for Vanja or not. I mean, like, she's the classic, is this a character you want to hate, you're supposed to hate? Is she unlikable? Is she supposed to be unlikable? Plus, what I also appreciate about this one as well is it's not just a straight up fantasy, as well as there's some legal, political thriller stuff in here that's filled with twists and turns. Way more than what meets the eye, not your typical fantasy. This is Little Thieves. Oh, and it's also a standalone, so if you like a good standalone, Little Thieves. So these are just 6 of the books that we have here at the library that are possibilities of fantastical beings. So I encourage you to come on out. Check out one of these. We also have a ton of other books that feature fantasy monsters, creatures, mythology elements, all of that. So if none of these interest you, come on out. We can help you find that perfect book that you're looking to read for, dealing with fantastical beings. Because here's the deal. It is summer reading. If you haven't signed up already, make sure you do. If you have, week 4, your new batch, Possibilities of Fantastical Beings. Watching this book talk gets you your 1 activity. Reading one of these or a book like it gets you your 2nd. Jump online, complete a third out of the choices there. You get your badge, you get your ticket to enter with amazing prizes, and come on down and collect your free books. Summer reading is just amazing. So I hope you tune back next week. We enter week 5. Can't believe it, week 5 of our summer reading. And I hope you have an amazing week.